Did you know that Marvel is known for being meticulous in their movies? Adding so many details and callbacks that many people miss. So let me share a few of them with you, as I have compiled 10 Marvel movie details you might have missed.
He used the stones to destroy the stones.
Did you know why Thanos didn't realize Tony Stark already stole the stone until it was too late? Well, this is because this is actually the first time that this Thanos wielded the stones. And unlike the older version of himself in Infinity War that had more experience and knew how the stones work, this version of him is so full of himself that he didn't notice the gauntlet was no longer glowing and continued to do the snap.
I'm Iron Man.
Why Captain Marvel didn't just use the stones?
Hey, Peter Parker.
In Avengers Endgame, when Captain Marvel got the gauntlet, why she didn't just use it to snap away Thanos' army instead of just flying it towards the van?
That's definitely a plan, or I could just...
Well, this is because people forget that she just arrived, and the only orders she got were that they needed the gauntlet in the van.
We need to get them back where they came from.
So when you think about it, it makes much more sense for her to just follow the orders of the people that were there before her. Did you know that many people still think wrongly about this detail in Doctor Strange? Before Strange's accident, he got this call on his phone.
I've got a 35-year-old Air Force colonel, crushed his lower spine in some kind of experimental armor, mid-thoracic burst fracture.
People tend to think that this is Rhodey when he falls in Civil War. But the start of Doctor Strange is before Civil War. And the person the call is talking about is actually the pilot of the Hammer tech suit that got twisted in Iron Man 2.
Oh, he needs some milk!
What is Thanos cooking? Well, after Thanos retired after saving the universe, he became a normal farmer. But unfortunately, he got victimized by a home invasion.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Right. Let me tell you something!
But the most tragic thing is, we didn't manage to know what he cooked. Well, based on the fruit that he foraged outside that is called Kiwano melon, we can safely assume that Thanos cooked the delicious Kiwano melon soup.
This is wrong!
Why do we still not have a real working Iron Man suit? You would think years of technological advancement would be enough to produce this suit, right? Well, not really. The problem is not in the suit itself, but in the energy needed. This creates a power problem, and the arc reactor that Tony created is still impossible in our time. The arc reactor that Tony created can produce 3 gigajoules of energy per second.
My math is right. I don't know what it is. 3 gigajoules per second.
Well, in context, that is the same as the output of 3 nuclear power plants. So not only is the power astronomical, but the fact that it's so small is another problem. So unless you have 3 power plants plugged into a human-sized suit, I don't see the Iron Man suit happening anytime soon. And also, that kind of energy would produce so much heat that any material would melt, including you inside. So there's that.
What?
Why doesn't War Machine have his own AI inside like Tony or SpiderMan suit? Well, this is because Rhodey is part of the government, and Tony didn't like his tech falling into their hands. This also proves to be the right choice when we later learn that Hydra had already infiltrated them. Then secondly, Rhodey is a military personnel and not really technologically adept, so Tony gave him more manual control to operate it better. The same reason why tanks don't have complicated computers inside. Did you know that when Osborn turns into the Green Goblin, it's not just his voice and personality that change? We can also see the change in his physical looks. If you look closely, the normal Osborn has a more regular set of teeth. But when the Green Goblin shows up, his teeth become crooked, and it also creates a tooth gap in the middle. In Iron Man 2, when Tony and Fury are talking, Tony says he already tried all combinations of elements to replace his palladium.
I've been looking for a suitable replacement for palladium. I've tried every combination, every permutation of every known element.
This seems weird, right? Since we never saw him do it, and it just looks like he gave up easily. Well, as it turns out, there's a deleted scene of Tony trying all elements to replace palladium.
When did our saga last leave us?
485 simulations.
This was most likely removed, since it would have made the movie too long. Did you know that Tony Stark is not just a genius, but also has inhuman-like reflexes that almost rival Peter's Spidey sense? Well, in Infinity War, when Star-Lord ambushed Tony's team by throwing a flashbang. If you slow this scene down, you'll notice that not only Spider-Man and Doctor Strange notice it as soon as it shows up. Tony already activated his suit earlier than both of them.
Oh my God! Inhuman reactions!
Did you know that in Spider-Man No Way Home, in the shot of the 3 SpiderMan Landing. Not only is it cool, but the timing of their landings is based on the release of their films, with Tobey first, Andrew second, and Tom third. Also, Tobey does the iconic Spider-Man perch pose,